Hello, good afternoon, and Happy New Year. And thank you for joining us for the January edition of QB Talks featuring QuickBooks Enterprise. My name is Gary Dehart, and I am the publisher of Insightful Accountant and Tax Practice News. Thank you to our presenters, Esther Friedberg Karp and William Murphy, who will introduce themselves in just a moment after I've done all the setup, if you will. So I would also like to say thank you to our series sponsor, Rewind. Rewind Backups protects the crucial data that runs your business and your clients' businesses. Online accounting software products don't automatically save your transactions, as you all know, and files if they're accidentally deleted. So Rewind Backups is the undo button for your online accounting software and automatically saving and restoring the latest version of your books. Rewind Backups are available for QuickBooks Online, Shopify, Shopify Plus, GitHub, Trello, Microsoft 365, and BigCommerce, with dozens of other platforms already in beta, probably already available since this was written. So we do have a poll question for you real quickly, and that is pretty simple. Let me get to it here. I got to change out my my desktop. Pretty simple. It does have multiple parts, so just real quickly run through this. So we just want to know what accounting software do you use? Have you experienced data loss from your firm? Do you have any security plan protocols in place? And are you interested in learning more about Rewind? So if you could dive in real quickly, answer those, that would be great. And we'll be that much closer to our content. Give you about 30 seconds to participate. Again, this is CPE. This is a CPE eligible webinar, so you will have to participate in at least polling questions. And I'll cover that in a second in my housekeeping items. All right, we're going to go ahead and close this out in about 3 more seconds. So 3, 2, and 1. Then Esther, if you could move those slides, that would be fantastic.
I think you want to go here. Or we did that.
Yep, did that one. And then on to our next sponsor. We do also have an episode sponsor is AvidXchange. And AvidXchange is a leading provider of accounts payable or AP automation software and payment solutions for businesses and their suppliers. AvidXchange's software as a service based end-to-end software and payment platform digitizes and automates the AP workflow for more than 8,000 customers, and it has made payments to more than 825,000 supplier customers of its buyers over the past 5 years. AvidXchange provides a seamless integration with QuickBooks Desktop and QuickBooks Online for AP and payment automation. This allows companies to incorporate an easier, faster, and more secure way to process invoices and make payments. We do also have a poll question for them, so hold on 1 second here. That is a pretty quick question. Would you like to hear from them? If you have AP or if you have clients with AP or if you're working in AP, they can help you out and help you automate a lot of that process, saving time and ultimately saving money. So if you'd like to hear from them, just check yes. If not, just say, just here to learn, and we will not pass your info on to them. So we'll give about 30 seconds on this, or about 30 more seconds, and then we will get it closed up, and I'll go through housekeeping. Then it will be all Esther.
Oh.
Not quite yet.
Not yet.
So, and just fill some dead air here. Again, maybe 5 more seconds. I'll save on filling the dead air. 3, 2, and 1. All right, you can go ahead and advance that then, Esther, and then I will, if I can find.
That's
awesome.
me.
All right,
I think I want to get to the total slides.
Yeah.
I think there we go.
There we go. All right. And so a couple of housekeeping items. New for 2023, we are offering CPE for QB Talks. We had several people last year when I asked the question, would you like to see CPE associated? We had several people say yes. So it is here. Every episode, which is, again, this is a series. So you sign up for one, you signed up for all of them. And they will all have CPE for the live version. So like all the CPE courses, you do have to be present for 50 minutes, 50 minutes. and you must participate in at least 3 of the polling questions. And the rewind poll question, which has 4 parts, is only 1 question, so that counts as 1. But we actually have multiple polling questions that you should be able to get to 3 pretty easily. So if you have any questions, we're going to ask you to put them in the Q&A panel down in your tray, and then the link to the recording will be sent to you, and it can be found on our YouTube channel. In fact, after I go dark, I will post both the slide deck in the chat and the link to our YouTube channel in the chat. Then also within about 24 hours, so sometime tomorrow, you will receive an email, follow-up email with both the link to a box folder with the slide deck, as well as the link to our YouTube channel. And then lastly, as I was talking, I came up with one other thing that's not in my notes, and I forgot what it was. So I will go ahead and turn this over to Esther, and then if I remember what it is, I'll put it in the chat too. So Esther, thank you so much for being here. And the dead air I was going to fill a minute ago. If you guys don't know, Esther just wrote a book. Way to go,
You
Esther.
stole my thunder. Thank you, Gary.
I mean, steal your thunder. But Esther, a best-selling author on Amazon. So Kindle edition. It's super cheap. The best $25 you will ever spend if you're in multi-currency. So Esther, Murph, thank you both. We will see y'all on the other side.
Okay, so I'll get cracking. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Enterprise 23andMe. My name is Esther Friedberg Karp, and I'm a longtime QuickBooks Desktop user as well as a QBO user in various countries. I have enterprise clients in both the US and Canada, and most of those just aren't candidates for QuickBooks Online because of their more complex needs. And I'm guessing you have clients like that as well. We will be covering what's new in QuickBooks Enterprise US for 23. And while there will be some features that do apply to the entire desktop lineup, we're concentrating on the enterprise product today. Let's go forward. There we go. So a little bit about me. I'm based in Toronto, Canada, but I have larger enterprise and QBO clients all over the place because I have a specialty in multi-currency and international uses for QuickBooks. So I have a bunch of certifications in various countries and I have no life. I've created training and certification for Intuit in a variety of countries, Canada, the US, the UK, Australia, and the international editions of QuickBooks Online. And I do write the odd article for Insightful Accountants. I've also created a MacGyver-esque series of articles having to do with workarounds for unusual situations that need to be handled in QBO, such as barter, landed costs, and inventory valuation adjustments. Some of these appear in the Firm of the Future blog, and some of these appear in Insightful Accountants. I've been blessed to be included in Insightful Accountants' list of top 100 pro advisors from 2015 through to the present. And I've also been fortunate enough to be in the top 10 twice. Yes, Gary did steal my thunder. My latest exciting news is I'm now an author, and my book, Multi-Currency in QuickBooks Desktop, is now available on Amazon. It will also be available on my website very soon. And yes, I will be working on multi-currency in QuickBooks Online next. I've divided our agenda for this session with new enterprise features for 2023 into 4 general groupings: cash flow tools, inventory management, payroll enhancements, and data entry and reporting. Where possible, I'll go into the product to demonstrate, but where it's not possible, and if it makes sense to do so, I'll provide you with screenshots to illustrate that new or improved feature. Our first enhancement grouping is cash flow tools. And the features that I've included in the cash flow tools grouping are the following: the cash flow hub, the bill and PO workflow approvals, the payment links dashboard, and contactless payments. Let's start the cash flow tools features with the cash flow hub. This is available in all Desktop 23, from Pro Plus to Premier Plus, Accountant, all enterprise editions. It gives you a single dashboard picture of money in and money out. Money in is covered by tracking paid and incoming invoices, sales receipts, credit memos, payments, and more. Money out is covered by tracking paid and upcoming vendor bills. And you can save time by consolidating multiple reports without manual calculations. You can also connect more general ledger accounts to the cash flow hub, such as loan accounts. And you can access it by selecting Company Cash Flow Hub. I'll show you that in a sec. It is a connected service, and therefore it requires you to log in to your Intuit account primary admin email associated with this company file. So let me show you. Let's take a look at this in product. You go to Company Cash Flow Hub like that. Now, I've already called it up because it normally takes a while to pop up because it's chugging through a lot of information to display on this dashboard. And yes, I've already signed into my Intuit ID for this company file. Now, we can select Manage Accounts here to select or deselect the accounts that are going to be included. Let's change the date range on the cash flow trend graph to the last 12 months. Those are all the options you have. And on the money in and money out, I'm going to change it to this year. It's not more customizable than that. I kind of wish it were. Come on, you. All right. So we see the upcoming funds that we expect to flow in and flow out, and we can view these items. In the money in section, we can take action on upcoming invoices to send reminders or view, and on paid invoices to record a deposit or view. And we can take a shortcut here to create an invoice. And in the money out section, for upcoming funds that we expect to flow out, we can choose to pay now or view. And we can take the shortcut here to create a bill. And we can also view various reports from the access points here on the money out, and here on the money in, and up here as well. You can get other quick links. Our second feature in cash flow tools is the bill and PO workflow approvals feature.
So Esther, before you move on to that,
are we going to have a polling question?
Let's have Gary throw the poll about cash flow hub. Okay. And while he's doing that, I'll just tell everybody, this is Murph. And for those of you who don't know me, I don't know why, because I've been around since dirt was being invented. And I've been using QuickBooks, well, actually, since QuickBooks ran on an abacus. And so, you know, I've been here a long, long time. And I'm happy to be here with Esther today. I'll tell you, this cash flow hub thing is Intuit's replacement for the cash flow projector that we had for years. And it doesn't quite do everything that it used to do, but I think they're improving it and working on it. And it's going to ultimately do, I think, even more. I think it'll wind up competing with a lot of those cash flow projectors that you buy as apps now.
Well, that would be great since it's already organically in the product. And I'm sorry I didn't have a bio slide for you, Murph.
Oh, that's all right. It wouldn't have been nearly as funny as what I just said. Folks, this is funny stuff. I ought to be in Vegas.
You should be. Well, you were.
And that's what I was afraid of, is nobody's using Cash Flow Hub yet.
Not yet.
Well, you need to be at least, you know, checking it out, folks.
Agreed. Agreed. Okay, I'm going to get cracking on our second feature in cash flow tools, which is the bill and PO workflow approvals feature. This is available in Enterprise, Desktop Enterprise Platinum and Diamond subscriptions for 23, and Enterprise Accountant. You can maintain business oversight and help reduce fraud with the ability to approve purchase orders and bills in a single dashboard. You can delegate accounts payable and purchase order tasks confidently with this bill and PO approval workflow. and save time with easily customizable business templates for repeatable purchase orders and bill flow workflow approvals. There is an ongoing tracking of approved transactions with automated audit trail details, including the approver name, creator details, and associated comments. There are also automated timely reminders to employees so that they can take action before the approval deadline hits. Now, the admin user needs to set up the approval templates, and they are also a connected service, and therefore they require you to log in to your Intuit account with this company file. All right, so this PO, this is a screenshot of a PO, was entered by another user. I set up a purchaser user that I'd set up in this company file. And then I, as the admin user, received this email. I could have set it up to be sent to another user for approval, not the admin user, such as a desktop user called Approver that I set up as a secondary admin in terms of their Intuit ID emails permissions that was set up for desktop. This email alerted me that this PO was just created and waiting to be approved. It was also set up to send me a reminder email if it wasn't approved within 7 days. Now, I can change the number of days that it takes to send out that reminder email, but it won't send out a second reminder, at least not at this point. The PO in question won't ever appear on the list of open purchase orders if it isn't approved. And then if nothing happens after 30 days, it would be automatically rejected. So let's go into Enterprise. I am signed in as the admin user. Let's close the cash flow hub. And the admin user needs to set up approvals by going to Company, Set Up Approvals Processes. Now, we can set up only one template for PO approvals and one for bill approvals to be active at one time. So this feature, I believe, needs to be developed more. Now, I can edit these. If I try and edit the PO template, it won't let me because I've got an outstanding PO pending approval. But let's go in to edit the bill one. And so I can show you that I've chosen it if the bill is greater than or equal to $5,000. And another condition is that the vendor is one of a number of vendors that I've checked off on the list. And I can add more conditions. And I chose that the bill had to be approved by me, the admin, and send the email notification to me. And if it's not approved within 7 days and I can change that number, it would send a reminder to the approver. What you don't see is the ability to change the 30 days. It's going to die after 30 days. So let me get out of this. So now let's go into Company, Track and Approve Transactions. And then what I'm going to do is click on the Rejected tab to see that there was a PO to the City of Bayshore. Let's widen this column. There was a PO to the City of Bayshore that never got approved. And I can actually open it on the hyperlink to see that its approval status is rejected. And and I can click on the Approval tab on the right here, and it shows its audit trail history. Now I can also go into Company, Track and Approve Transactions, and then go into the pending section to see that PO that I created on January the 15th to Timberloft Lumber. There it is. I can click on that hyperlink to open it and look at it, and I see that its approval status is pending approval. And I can approve it or reject it within the 30 days from the action drop down here. Also from that PO, I'm going to go back into it. I can click on Approval List in the top main ribbon, and that also takes me back to the approval request page as well. Now, let's go back. Let's look at that screenshot of the listing of the Timberloft Lumber PO that is pending approval. Remember, we went into Company, Track and Approve Transactions to see this PO listed on the approval request page in the pending section. I could click on the hyperlink to see that the PO is pending approval, or I could click on the action dropdown to approve it or reject it. And if I take no action, it'll expire and get auto rejected after 30 days. So I've clicked on that hyperlink. This is what the PO for Timberloft Lumber looks like now, while the clock on that 30 days is ticking. It is pending approval at the present time. And for any bill or PO that is pending approval, I'll say it again, you can click on the approval list icon in the main ribbon at the top. That takes you back to the approval request page where you can approve or reject it. Oops, I'm trying to go back. There it is. But remember, you've got only 30 days to approve it, or else it gets auto rejected, and you can't bring it back to life and approve it after it's croaked. And you can't change that 30-day limit. I'm going to go on to payment links tracking. Murph, do you have a polling question yet?
No.
Okay, I'll keep going. So our third cash flow tools feature is payment links tracking, and this is available in all of Desktop 23, Pro Plus, Premier Plus, Accountant Plus, all Desktop Enterprise, as long as there's an active QuickBooks Payments account. You can quickly collect payments for items that do not require an invoice by sending a payment link, and you can view the status in the new payment links dashboard. It's useful for collecting payments for initial consultations, advanced deposits, and more without creating an invoice. And you get to it by going to Customers Payment Links. So just specify if you're open to being paid by credit card, by bank transfer, or both. You can easily monitor the status of your request and send reminders in the new payment links dashboard. And you can either text or email customers a link to the request payment so that they can pay online. Our last cash flow tools feature is contactless payments. It's available again in all of Desktop 23 with an active QuickBooks Payments account. QuickBooks Payments users can offer customers a choice of contactless payments via a single node reader and record the payments automatically in QuickBooks Desktop, as well as match them in the banking center. With this, you can accept Apple Pay, Google Pay, EMV chip, and debit and credit card payments. Our next grouping of enhancements is inventory management. And there are two new features in this grouping: inventory item categorization and expiration dates. Now, the inventory item categorization is available in all editions of Desktop Enterprise, including Enterprise Accountant for version year 23. I can access this by adding a new item or editing an existing item, but it's not just for inventory items, but also non-inventory, assembly, service, and other items. In my humble opinion, this feature is still in the developmental stage, though. It's just starting to follow the brilliance of QuickBooks Online, which doesn't have parent items and sub items. Instead, many of you know, QBO's product service items are categorized, and users can select a category when completing a transaction, but then they must choose or enter an item that resides in that category. This way, they can't accidentally record a transaction to a parent item, ignoring the subs, because if they did that in Desktop, it shows up with other next to the parent item name in reports. But I don't see this happening in Enterprise just yet. So let me go and show you what's going on. Let's close all this stuff. And let's go into lists and go into the item list. Now I'll make this bigger. And you can see that I've right-clicked on the column headers and chose Customize Columns in order to get the category column to appear here in this position. All items that have not had a specific category assigned to them are assigned this uncategorized category. Now, if I want to go into a sub-item and categorize it, I'll show you something in the wood doors. Where are my wood doors? I'll take the exterior. Let me right-click and edit it. You can see the category is grayed out. It doesn't let me do anything. But if I edit the parent item, it does let me do it. But if I were to do this, it wouldn't change the category of any of the subs, which is kind of crazy. A more functional way of dealing with categories is to look at the items residing in the various categories in the new category center under lists, manage category. Now here, I can edit the category names either by right-clicking and hitting edit category, or I can double click and do the same thing, or I can go down to manage categories as well. And now I can also, besides editing the category names, I can add a description. And I can also create subcategories and go down 3 levels deep, as you've seen I've done here, under the main parent category. So if I were to create, let's say, a new category, it lets me tell it if it's a subcategory of something else. I'll get out of that. I can also delete categories. Oh, it won't let me delete that one. Yeah, it'll let me delete categories that I've created. I can also delete categories as long as they don't have any items in them or any subcategories under them that have items in them. And I can also batch edit. So let's say I'm going to go into the uncategorized category and I want to move items to another category. So if I use the wood door item, I'll click next to the wood door. It automatically, now this time, it does let me go to edit its subs, and I can click on batch actions and move them to a different category, and I'm going to choose the EFK doors category. And just so you know, I'm going to cancel out of it for a sec. I can't deselect the sub items, so it's all or nothing here. So let's go batch actions, move, and I'll go to EFK doors, save. Okay, so it's successfully moved. And I can also search for items in a particular category. So let's say I'm going to look for wood. Do I have anything in here? Search. Nothing. Try door. What the heck have I done? All right, say cabinets. There we go. Okay, so I can search for item in this category or any other category. All I have to do is highlight it and look for it. Okay, and I can also see the item category on the inventory valuation summary report. So let's get out of this and let's go to reports, inventory valuation summary. I'll choose all dates. Okay, so now you can see the item categories down the side. Categories are also seen in other reports, either by default, like you see here, when you run the report, or they can be added as a column. And this is relatively new in R3 of Enterprise 23, inventory valuation summary by site, inventory stock status by item, physical inventory worksheet, and under lists, we've also got the item price list and the item listing report. But one type of item that I can't add to a category is a group item. I imagine this will come as well. And if I want to create a transaction such as an invoice, this isn't working for me just yet. I'm not loving this part. Let's say I'm going to invoice somebody and I want to invoice them something from the EFK doors category. It doesn't pop up like it does in QuickBooks Online. So it's not going to let me find the items that reside in that category. So categories aren't functional in this way within transactions. I am hoping that this will come too. So next up is expiration dates, which allows me to add a field.
So Esther, we're going to do a poll on.
Please do. I'm going to take a swig of water.
Gary, open the poll on item categories. We're interested in knowing if you or your clients are already using this new item category feature. Intuit is really interested in finding out what you think of this. They're asking people to be sure to make comments in within the product. And we'd like to pass along how many participants here today are actively using the product. So.
All right, we're going to close this out in about 5 more seconds. So if you need the CPE, you need to participate.
I need the CPE, but it's not letting me participate.
We know you're here.
Thanks, Murph. Okay. I'm gonna get cracking. Next up is expiration dates, which allows me to add a field for expiration dates to items with serial or lot numbers activated in advanced inventory, obviously in Enterprise. These expiration dates can be included on sales orders, invoices, and other customer communication forms, and also on purchase transactions, inventory adjustments and transfers, and inventory assembly bills. Expiration dates are available in all editions of QuickBooks Desktop Enterprise, Platinum and Diamond subscriptions, and Enterprise Accountant for version year 23. They help reduce business liability and risk by conveying expiration dates in customer communications, and the Enterprise user can take timely actions with reports on expired or about to expire inventory by lot or serial number. I can keep inventory up to date and reduce business losses by easily replacing and replenishing expired products from inventory and by selling the about to expire items first. So to enable this feature, we're signed in as the admin user, and let's go into edit preferences. And then under inventory items in inventory for company preferences, advanced inventory settings, the serial and lot number tab is now called the serial lot number and expiration tab. And here you can activate the expiration date on the right and decide what transactions will feature it. Also, you can specify if you want to be alerted if an expiration date field is empty. So I'm going to show you where I've used it. Let's go into my list of items. And I created an item called widgets that expire. And let's do a quick report so you can see what I've done with it. I've created a bill where we've bought a bunch of widgets that expire. We bought 6 of them. And the expiration date is hiding in the serial number field. And so each serial number has an expiration date. So far, so good. Now I'm going to close this. And now let's sell it on an invoice. So let's go and sell this. And I'll sell it to this guy. And it's the widgets that expire. And I'm selling it. Come on, you. There we go. And I'm selling it from the HQ site, and I'm selling him 3. Now I'm going to specify the serial numbers that I am choosing to sell to him. So I'm going to choose add multiple serial numbers. And the cool thing here is that if you click on the column headers, then you're sorting it by that column's parameter. So I click on the expiration date ones, I can see the ones that are expiring first on the top. And I can say, you know what, I'm going to sell him these 3. He won't mind. And then I'm going to say add selected numbers. There it is. I'm selling him 3 of them. And then I'm going to hit save and close. And now what I can do is I can look at the expiration dates. Let's take a look here under reports, inventory. We have something called, the inventory expiration status report. So we can see that what the expiration date was, what the serial number was, days until the expiration date, and if it's still in stock. I think there are more improvements to come since I can't add expiration status fields to other reports, such as the transaction journal report, but I think this is a great start.
And there's a serious discrepancy here because The expiration date, you can actually sell products that have expired.
Yes, you can. You're in control.
It doesn't even give you a warning.
That's true.
You would think that there would at least be a pop-up warning that one of the products has expired, and it doesn't even give you that. So I'm hoping that they at least down there on the preferences give you the ability to set some of those parameters of either warning or strict control and preclude you from selling.
That would be great. I mean, under the guise of, best before doesn't necessarily mean worst after. I mean, you should have the ability to override it, but at least be warned that, oh, I'm going to sell this. It's close to expiry or it expired. The customer knows I'm going to give them a discount or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, moving right along, we're going to cover payroll.
We've got to do a poll there.
Okay.
All right.
Fantastic. Go ahead, Murph.
We want to know if you're using this new expiration date feature, if you or your clients are already using it. I mean, this is a critical feature. It's one of the things that people have asked about. They've had to be doing this with spreadsheets or custom fields or, all kinds of things. And really, nothing was a good solution. And this is better than anything we've had thus far.
Yeah.
But
I think they're going to develop it further.
Businesses that really need this, this is at least the right step to get it started. So.
All right, we're going to go ahead and close this out.
And about the same result every time, just about. So,
well, I think people need to realize that it is a really good start, and just to realize that it's there. Anyway, let's cover payroll enhancements that are not specific to enterprise, but do require a QuickBooks payroll subscription. There we go. Why is this? There we go. In this category, there are two new features: Equifax verification of employment and earnings, and an integrated 401k offered by Guideline. Now, the Equifax verification of employment and earnings is available in the entire desktop lineup from Pro Plus all the way up through Enterprise, as long as there's an active QuickBooks payroll subscription here. By partnering with Equifax, QuickBooks Desktop Payroll has automated verification of employment and income. The employee information is verified through Equifax's secure channels, and employees are assessed, and if appropriate, approvals are quickly provided for loan, credit, or other aid applications. QuickBooks users can choose to opt in or opt out of the service. The integrated 401k offered by Guideline is also available in the entire desktop lineup as long as there's an active QuickBooks payroll subscription. Users can sign up for a fully integrated and affordable Guideline 401k plan through QuickBooks Assisted Payroll. Users can choose from a list of plan options suiting their needs in one place, and then set up the plan easily so that the 401k plan contributions and deductions are completed seamlessly. Once you sign up, you can add the 401k payroll deduction, and if applicable, the 401k addition to your payroll items list. Then from the menu bar, select Employees, Employee Center, and assign the 401k items to specific employees. Our next grouping of new and enhanced features is data entry and reporting. There are 4 enhancements in this grouping: the intercompany transactions, mileage tracker, enhancements to accounts receivable reporting, and enhanced banking connections. Intercompany transactions are, in my opinion, the biggest wow of the bunch here, although I believe there's more development to come on this feature. Now, as many pro advisors know, Enterprise is used most often by larger clients, including those that have multiple legal entities that have intercompany funds going back and forth among them. Intercompany transactions are available in QuickBooks Desktop Enterprise, Platinum, and Diamond subscriptions for 23, and Enterprise Accountant for 23. They are a connected service, and this feature requires that the related companies share the same Intuit user ID email account. So back in our company here, we can go into company, my company, and then click on manage your account to manage the email address. You can see the email address that I have associated with this company. Or you can select F2 on your keyboard, and in the top right section of the product information window, we will see the primary admin's Intuit user ID email account associated with the file. Now, after logging in to each related file and ensuring each has the same primary admin Intuit account, we can create the relationship. Then we go into company, intercompany transactions to set up the relationships. We're going to use 2 enterprise companies here. Okay, so once the relationship is set up, you'll be able to create intercompany transactions, including vendor bills and company checks, but no other transaction types such as invoices at this time. So I think there's more development on this feature to come as well. And that automates the entry between these 2 QuickBooks company files. This new feature reduces the need for duplication of effort. It allows you to easily establish and manage relationships among business entities via a dashboard. You can track transactions across business entities by assigning assets and liabilities accounts. We have the power to approve or reject both the intercompany relationships that are being set up, as well as the transactions after the relationships are approved. You can reduce manual entry and simplify tracking by entering bulk transactions. And you can create intercompany transaction reports for better insight on completed historical transactions. So for example, company A here has the lavender color scheme. It pays a vendor bill on behalf of company B, which will show soon in pink. The bill is created in lavender A as a non-posting transaction. No general ledger accounting for this vendor bill takes place in lavender company A's books until pink company B approves the bill. Now, it's really hard to switch between the 2 companies, so I've done it already and recorded screenshots for you. So I've got these 2 companies set up already. Esther's Rock Castle Construction, which is company A in lavender, and then you'll see EFK Enterprises company B, which you'll see in pink. And they both have the same Intuit user ID. In lavender company A, also known as Esther's Rock Castle Construction, I went into company, intercompany transactions, and chose the destination company file, pink company B, also known as EFK Enterprises. That pink company B file was even there to select its radio button because it has the same Intuit user ID as lavender company A. I then selected continue. Next, once I chose that other company, I had to set up the intercompany accounts on lavender A's chart of accounts as they relate to pink company B. In this case, I chose the due from and the due to as the same account, but I didn't have to do that if I didn't want to. Now I set it up due from EFK Enterprises, and I've set it up as an other asset type of account, and then I selected send request. Still in lavender company A, after I click on select requests, send request, I get this notification that pink company B is going to get a request to be associated with lavender company A. Now I can click OK here or X out of it or cancel, but of course I clicked OK. Once I've clicked OK, I see that there's a pending request that was sent to the other company, to pink company B, and it stays that way unless and until it's accepted or rejected at the other end. It's in the intercompany transaction screen using the relationships tab and the sent for approval area. Now I've logged into the other company, pink company B, and I'm in company intercompany transactions there as well. I'm in the intercompany transaction screen using that relationships tab and the pending my approval section. and I see that there's a pending my approval request from Lavender Company A, also known as Esther's Rock Castle, and I select approve from the action columns dropdown. And I have to set up the corresponding intercompany report accounts on Pink Company B's side as they relate to Company A. Takes me to this screen after I approve the relationship, and I set up a due to Esther's Rock Castle account. I set it up as an other current liability. I mean, the other one I set up as another asset. I just wanted to show you I can use different types of accounts. And I use it for the due to and the due from accounts. And then I selected approve relationship. Now I see the relationship created confirmation screen in Pink Company B, and I can click OK. Now, I've taken screenshots of the approved section in the relationships tab of the intercompany transaction section of both companies here. For each company, Pink B on the left and Lavender A on the right, I see the other company as well as the due from account and the due to account. And I can click on edit to change those accounts in either company. Okay, now let's take a look at how this works now that the relationship is set up and approved. This is the bill that Lavender Company A entered to be paid on behalf of Pink Company B. In Lavender Company A, I open up a bill, or it could be a check, and before I do anything else, I click on intercompany transactions. And we see that the first column header in the detail area changes to company rather than account, and there is no items tab. So I chose EFK Enterprises. There was a drop down here. And remember, that's Pink Company B. Now, there could be other companies listed there as well if I'd set them up. And then the account, once I chose EFK Enterprises, the account due from EFK Enterprises populates automatically. I enter the other information such as the date, the amount, the memo, if needed, and the bill number. I see the intercompany transaction badge and the fact that it's not yet sent just above the detail information grid at the bottom of the transaction. I can't have multiple allocations in this line. Warning to that effect will appear if I try to save it with more than one line. I would dearly love to see this improved to allow for multiple lines on an entry. Okay, so in Lavender Company A, I go back into company, intercompany transactions. I can click on the transactions tab now, and I can select the sent for approval section. I see that there's this pending bill. And on the flip side, in Pink B, if I go into company, intercompany transactions, I'm in the transactions tab, and I select the pending my approval section. I see that there's this pending bill, which I can approve or reject from the dropdown in the action column. Now here, if I'm going to approve it, it makes me obviously select a general ledger account that would hit the books. So I chose auto and truck expenses that needs to be recorded on Pink Company B side, and then I select approve. If there were multiple transactions listed here, I could approve all of them. I could batch approve them. Now that it's approved by Pink Company B, that bill is no longer in the pending my approval section. Instead, I find it in the approved section, and I can click on view in the action column, and it will take me to the general journal entry created automatically in Pink Company B, and I can also click on view report. So if I clicked on view, I see the entry. It's a general journal entry. Remember, I had to select that GL account. I chose auto and truck expenses, so that's what it's picking up here. The name of the vendor populates the memo, which I don't love. I wish it could populate the name column instead, and I can see that it's an intercompany transaction. Now, if I had clicked instead on view report instead of view, then what I would see is the intercompany transactions report from the point of view of Pink Company B. Now I flipped to Lavender A and gone into intercompany transactions, and I've clicked on the transactions tab and clicked on approve, and I see the original bill there, and I can click on view in the action column to see it, or I can click on view report. If I click on view, that takes me back to the bill, but this time I see it's approved. And if I can click on the intercompany transactions in the ribbon at the top, and that would take me back to the intercompany transactions area where I could click on View Report. And after I click on View Report, I see the intercompany transactions report from the point of view of Lavender Company A. That was a mouthful. Next up is data entry and reporting.
We need to do a poll there.
Okay, go ahead. Actually, go ahead.
Gary, we want to know, we want to know how many of you are using or attempting to use the new intercompany transactions feature. This is undoubtedly not only the most sophisticated of the new features, but also the most complicated of the new feature. And hopefully, I think Esther and I are going to try to do another webinar on this, in which we actually have two companies live and are working back and forth with a variety of transactions between two companies live.
Oh.
Well, what do you know? More people are trying to use this than the other two. So,
wow. Okay. I know we're short on time, so I'm going to get cracking. Next up is data entry and reporting. We have the MAT and the mileage tracker, which, while it isn't new, it is improved now that there's a mobile app for iOS phones. This is included with the entire desktop lineup from Pro Plus on up. And it's requires a connection and a login to an Intuit account. Note that the track mileage mobile functionality is only available on iOS-enabled mobile phones for desktop company files starting with the 2023 version year. I do believe that an Android app is coming soon. I can record, track, and view business mileage efficiently in a single place via the desktop or the iOS-enabled app, so I can accurately report to the IRS and charge back customers on their invoices. I can simplify end of year taxes by consolidating mileage data on all business trips automatically by accessing the latest IRS rates to calculate deductions. I can accurately charge back customers by providing them with detailed mileage logs with trip locations, and I can also manage expenses by easily viewing, tracking, and running a report of all business trips in a single place. In the desktop, I can access this feature by selecting Company Track Vehicle Mileage. Now, the first time I did that, where are you? The first time I did that, I was given, I did so in a given company in version 2023. I also saw instructions to go into the App Store and download the QuickBooks Desktop mobile app so that I can track mileage for this company from my iPhone. There's a new reporting enhancement in QuickBooks Desktop Enterprise and Enterprise Accountant 23. It's the ability to run an AR aging detail report. I think it applies to the summary report as well, but the detail one is just so much more obvious because it's such a huge report. It's the ability to run an AR aging detail report in seconds rather than setting it up to run and then going for a cup of coffee because it's going to take a while to load up. As we all know, enterprise companies generally have a lot of data, and running reports like the AR aging detail takes a lot of computing power because there's a lot of information to display. Our clients can take timely action by gaining faster insight into aging and outstanding customer invoices, and then therefore get paid faster. They can prepare accounts receivable aging detail reports the way they always do, but this time they can stick around as it will display very quickly. In the same data entry and reporting grouping, there are now enhanced banking connections, and they're available in all desktop 23 versions, from Pro Plus all the way on up. Clients can save time with automated bank feeds, which means they don't have to take the time to import banking data manually. Now, although this feature does vary from institution to institution, and some banks may not yet support this technology, there's now encryption technology added for extra security, and you can access bank feeds by selecting Banking, Bank Feeds, Set up bank feeds for an account. So, what is the bottom line in here for all these enhancements? Do we have any more polling questions, Merv?
No, I don't believe so.
Hot diggity. So in my humble opinion, Intuit's commitment to desktop enterprise, desktop and in particular enterprise continues to grow. They just wouldn't invest this kind of time, effort, and money, let's face it, to enhance the features if they didn't. And as an avid user of desktop and as an Intuit shareholder, I am very happy to hear that. You can access the QuickBooks Enterprise in-depth guide for 2023 at this URL. I'm going to, I guess they're getting this deck, so they'll get that URL if they don't want to take a screenshot now. And I want to thank anybody and ask if they have any questions. We are so close to time. Wow.
So while Murph, there were some questions in the Q&A. If you want to take a look at those, I do have one more poll that is just kind of a closing poll. 2 questions in one. Just again, just throwing it back out there for the sponsors. If you'd like to hear from Rewind, our series sponsor, or Avid Exchange, the episode sponsor, we will pass your name over to them if you say yes. I know there was a few comments about the recording. Yes, the recording will be, the link to the recording will be sent to you. It will reside on our YouTube page. Tomorrow, you will receive an email that has a link to the presentation deck itself, which sits in a box folder, and a link to the YouTube page. And then if you do want CPE and you answer the questions and you've been here the whole time, you will also receive an email. Everyone will receive an email with a link to a survey, and complete that survey and you will have your certificate sent to you. I will go ahead and close out this poll, and then Murph, if you want to take over any questions.
I'm trying to go through these.
While Murph's going through the questions, I just want to thank everyone for listening, and feel free to contact me. I'm just going to go back a slide. If you want to continue the conversation regarding anything to do with QuickBooks Desktop, QBO, specifically about international and multi-currency situations for your clients, or my new book, I look forward to hearing from you. Murph?
Yeah, I think most of these are not sure. One of the questions was opting in and out of Equifax on a by employee basis. And what you always have to remember is employees have to request that functionality. They have to request that. They have to sign an authorization that they're authorizing their employer to provide that information by Equifax. They can't just submit it through Equifax without that authorization. So that was Intuit's rationale, and not really having an employee by employee turn on and turn off. But employers don't have to allow their employees to have electronic provision of that information. And so they wanted to allow employers to opt out of that feature. And that's why they gave that ability to turn it off. Yes, and the intercompany functionality is only available in Enterprise, specifically Platinum and Diamond, as well as Accountant.
That's correct.
And not sure what this question is about. It says, it's too late to add which versions of desktop these new features apply to. If you'll go out to Insightful Accountant and look at our summary of the 2023 features, all of the features are summarized there, and it specifically lists which features are available in which versions. And let me type that guide into https://intuit.me/3G.
Oh, yeah.
1W4N.
There it is.
Oh.
There it is. I've got the screen up. If you guys want, I mean, you'll get it in the slide deck, but if you want to take a screenshot of that.
There are a couple of the enterprise features that were, for example, item categorization is available in Enterprise Silver. And I just put the link in, and we showed the link again. And any idea when 2023 certification will happen? No, although I know that's being worked on.
Yes, it is.
And but there's no telling when it will actually become available. Also understand there's going to be an update to the enterprise certification sometime during 2023. But again, I don't have any idea when that's going to be available. And folks, we want to also encourage you to go over to the nominations and consider nominating yourself or a fellow Pro Advisor for Top 100 and Pro Advisor of the Year. And I just wrote an article yesterday trying to do a little clarification about the nomination form. A few people told us that they were confused about the form, and yesterday's article was designed to do that, as well as encourage people to not wait around. I always have people every year go, well, I was waiting on my friend to nominate me and they forgot. Can I get in late? And I'm going, no, sorry, you can't get in late.
Snooze, you lose.
Yeah. And so you're just better off to not wait on somebody else to nominate you. Nominate yourself. It doesn't matter how many times you get nominated, as long as you do get nominated, because you absolutely cannot win if you don't get nominated to begin with. So I can tell you that. And I've spent about 140 hours redoing the entire application form this year. I'll just pat myself on the back. We have a phenomenal new application form that everyone is going to go through this year. It's filled with all kinds of artificial intelligence that opens new questions based on other questions you answer. And and not everybody has to answer all of the questions, because if you have things that don't apply to you, chances are those questions won't even be visible to you. So I think you're going to find that while there's more questions than ever, there's actually going to be fewer questions that you're going to be exposed to in the long run. So.
All right, so your three takeaways. Download the in-depth guide for 2023 QuickBooks Enterprise. Go buy Esther's book. Make sure Amazon #1 bestseller. We're going to do that. It's going to happen.
Thank you, Gary.
I mean, hey, how else can Esther go to the beach if you guys don't buy her book?
Right.
So, exactly right. This beach
Look
trips.
how white I am. Really, I need some sun.
It's been stuck in Canada for like 4 years now or something. So beach trips don't come free. And #4 is go out to the website and nominate yourself and anybody else you know who you think should be in that top 100 pro advisor list for 2023. Esther, thank you so much. Murph, thank you so much. Everyone who took an hour out of their day to learn about QB Enterprise, we certainly appreciate your support of Insightful Accountant and support of our sponsors. Y'all have a great week. Esther, enjoy your trip.
Thank you.